If you can't kill a boss, no reason why you can't look like one. Moogle putting the wow in transmogs. We're going to kick off with the shoulders, which keep in mind is Alliance only. Primal Gladiator's Mantle of Cruelty. That's actually the priest tier from your WoD PvP vendor, but mages and warlocks can wear that particular piece. 3 marks of honor to pick that up. The chest is the Warmongering Gladiator's Raiment of Cruelty. If you're Horde, you gotta go wild. WoD PvP vendor, 3 marks of honor to get that robe. The belt is gonna spin you to a place called Throne of Thunder Heroic. Radan is the boss. Vita Binder Wrap, kind of a fair drop rate to pick up the belt. Next up, we're gonna start you off with either the cape. Yep, it's the cape, the dark leather cape. Vanilla level leatherworking. Check your local leatherworker or your local auction house with a purple cloak. Now, we're going to show you a Worgen, which you really can't see the feet on. Vicious Fireweed boots, Cata level tailoring. Check your local tailor, check your local auction house for the boots. Now, guess what? It's the hands. I believe the hands are next. Yes, they are. Primal Gladiator's Gloves of Prowess. Keep in mind that's part of the tier set for priests, but warlocks and mages can get that set as well, get that piece as well from the WoD PvP vendor. And the headpiece, Dark Conjurer's Collar, Sunwell Plateau, Kill Jaden, 18% drop rate on the headpiece. And now the once and final piece would be the weapon, which is a staff. It's called the Infernal Staff from Blackrock Foundry. Mythic Rule, 22% on the drop rate for the staff. Blue and purple definitely always work with mages, and the shoulders of the Underworld Mantle out of Ulduar. General Vizix is the boss, 5% on the drop rates. That's an interesting look, I gotta say. Now we're gonna spin you all the way to Legion to get the Vestment of Inflamed Blight from the Burning Throne, LFR version. Shadowg is the boss, 8% on the drop rate. So 8% of the time he will hand you the robe. The belt, Tyrannical Gladiator's Court of Accuracy. If you're Horde, you're going to have to find a different belt because yours is a reddish color. 1 mark of honor to pick that up from the MOP PvP vendor. Moving on, we're going to go with the back, which you'll see in a little bit, but for now, we'll just tell you what it is. The Dread Aspirant's Cape, once again. This is Alliance only, PvP sources, but there are other blue capes you can easily use. Look at that, giving Panda a little bit of love. Eternal Boots of the Sky Strider. Mana Tombs, Nexus Prince Schaffer is the boss, 6% on the drop rate for those boots, but you could go with any kind of grayish boots. The hand Static Charge Hand Wraps, Ulduar Cache of Innovation. So you gotta head to Ulduar to get the gloves and the chest. 14% drop rate on the hand wraps. Got a Blood Elf dude showing you the Veil of Airy Peak. Of course, Airy Peak is in the Hinterlands. There's the quest, so it's a quest reward. You might already have it, who knows. And we're going to move on to the weapon. Last but not least, this is the default artifact for Frost Mages. You can always go with something different if you're not a Frost Mage. The shoulders you can pick out of a very simple place. Throne of Thunder, LFR version. Iron Quan drops the Mantle of the Chromatic Hydra. 5% on the drop rate for those shoulders. The chest, Merciless Gladiator Silk Raiment. Head over to Netherstorm, of course, the BC PvP vendor. That's the building with the 2 ogres in front. 3 marks of honor to pick that up. Moving on to the belt, Abandoned Zandalari Fire Cord. Throne of Thunder, LFR. Various mobs, or you could just step up, buy it on the auction house. I think, I'm not really sure. Might be a different version that drops from the auction house, but you could always check. Dread Gladiator's Cape, which makes this Alliance only, but you could just substitute a different blue cape if you want, if you're Horde. Kind of a fair drop rate. At this point, you either have it or you don't. Eventually, I believe, Marks of Honor, you could buy the BFA PvP stuff. Sandals of Rustling Rage, Tiragog Sound, that is, of course, I believe, a rare or that you could farm. The hands, Lightning Weaver Gauntlets, Throne of Thunder LFR, Jinrock the Breaker drops it at a fair rate. Moving on, speaking of Jinrock the Breaker and trolls, we have a Troll Lady, Flame Caster's Burning Crown, Throne of Thunder LFR, Hard On is boss, kind of a fair drop rate. And the last piece, of course, is the weapon. Here's the staff, Dying Light, Ice Crown Citadel, normal 25 man, Blood Queen, Lanethel. This one's done with fire in mind, so to light a match, let's go. Primal Gladiator's Mantle of Cruelty, WoD PvP vendor, 3 marks of honor to pick up those shoulders, which are actually priest tier shoulders in PvP, but that's the piece that mages and warlocks can pick up. That's alliance only, by the way. Sanctified Blood Mage Robe, Ice Crown Citadel, Heroic 25 man, Syndragosa has a 35% shot to drop those. The belt, Vita Binder Wrap, Throne of Thunder Heroic, Cache of Storms, 14% on the drop rate. So far 3 for 3 with some pretty easy pieces to pick up. Next up, the back, Parrot Feather Cloak, Freehold, Sky Captain Crag, 12% on the drop rate. You see, that's the dilemma that I often face. If it's easy to pick up, chances are it's not going to look so great in a MOG. If it's difficult to pick up, chances are it's going to look really good in a MOG. So it's kind of hard to mix and match. Sometimes you get something that's just very easy to pick up across the board and you luck out. Sometimes you get all things across the board, difficult to pick up, but it looks great. So it's kind of a no-win scenario for me when it comes to that. So far, the hands and the shoulders are PvP tier stuff, and the rest is kind of mixed and matched all over the place. Dark Conjurer's Collar, it's going to send it to Sunwell. The weapon, Infernal Flame Staff, Blackrock Foundry Mythic. Gruul is the boss, and we got about a 22% drop rate. We put together a set here that's really easy to get and looks really good. So that's kind of a rare combo. Notorious Gladiator Silk shoulder pads, which are at a BFA, of course, PvP sources. So at this point, you either have it or you don't. Eventually, Marks of Honor will be probably shelled out to buy those pieces. Mistcape Rogue, Stratholme, various mobs, buy it on the auction house. Probably the best way to go. And we got a Night Elf dude showing the antiquated Highborn Cinch out of the Nighthold. As you can see, the boss and the drop rate at 16%. Moving on, we're going to step up and show you the Cloak of the Devoured. Temple of Anchorage, Kythun is the boss, and we got about a 12% drop rate on the blue and gold cloak. Moving on to a Lady Troll, Consortium boots, which you really can't see on her. Magister's Terrace, various mobs, or you can buy it on the auction house. Always go to Magister's Terrace if you don't have that Hookstrider. Well, if you're Alliance, you definitely want that Hookstrider mount. Notorious Gladiator Silk Gloves, BFA PvP sources, of course, part of the same tier set as the head and shoulders. Now we have an undead dude showing that particular head from that Notorious set. Of course, this is an Alliance-only set. I show Horde characters so people get some ideas of what they could miss, match. Maybe all you have to do is swap out the belt and robe, have something match for Horde. And as you can see, the weapon, really cool order hole piece you could buy. Here's another piece with Arcane and Frost in mind. The shoulders, Arcano Shatter Mantle. Blackrock Foundry, Operator Thogar, 14% on the drop rate for the shoulders with a blue jewel and a gray look and gold. It really works well with this set. Robes of the Moon Lotus. Throne of Thunder Heroic, Swen is the boss, and we got about an 11% drop rate to pick that up. Moving on, we have a Lady Human showing Deckhands, Rope Belt, Blackrock Foundry, Admiral Garen is the boss, kind of about a 12% drop rate on the belt. Moving on to the feet, which are Vindicator's Soft Soul Slippers, Blood Missile, it's a quest reward, I shoot magic into darkness. So that's Alliance only, but you'll probably find some dark gray boots that you could wear somewhere along the line also. Arcano Shatter Gloves, part of the same tier set as the shoulders. Admiral Garen once again makes an appearance, 14% on the drop rate. Moving on to the back, Gilded Thorian Cloak, Karazhan BC version, Terrestriang, that's the Chinese version of Terrestrian Illhoof, 17% for the drop rate. Now we have a Zandalari Lady Troll, 100 Fathom Veil. This, of course, is the priest tier headpiece from Legion, but this is the piece that mages and warlocks can pick up. And the weapon is straight out of Dragon Soul LFR, dropped from the Elementium fragment. 48% drop rate for the staff. Once again, my name is Luxeley, and I'm going to leave you with a final thought like I always do. Whatever it is by you, whether it's morning, afternoon, or night like it is here, make your day epic.